Time for another episode of Council Bluffs Today. We are on location as we have made our way across to the other side of Bayless Park. You know, there's a big square building and it's brick and you drive past it every day and you probably don't pay any attention. It's the Masonic Temple in Council Bluffs. And this is Mr. Jim Provost, and he is the serving Master of the Lodge Cobia 631.
I am.
Good to see you, sir.
And you as well.
It has been a long time coming, getting to sit down and chat with you a little bit, but I thought we probably should do it because people are starting to see us out and about a little bit more, including now this year at the farmers market.
We've gone to great efforts to try and make ourselves visible out and about, so no, it's great that it is.
And the farmers market, the Masons are selling ice cream bars, and all of the money raised stays right here locally because we support a lot of organizations and different projects that are going on around town. All of it takes money. This is just how we get some of it. So what can you tell me about the project of selling ice cream at the farmers market?
So it came as an idea by one of the guys at the lodge who actually works at Robert's Dairy. He got this brainstorm one day of, you know what, we could probably wholesale some of these things and resell them to raise funds this year. So he spent months planning. He had it out with his boss. He had old-timey Good Humor brand ice cream coolers. He had to get all cleaned up to make portable, and a lot of work. And more guys started getting in behind him, and now we got a full-fledged booth at the farmers market. There's like 5 different kinds of ice cream at $2 a piece. By the time the farmers market opens at 4:30, we are ready to rock and roll.
And so far, I haven't been at every week, but I've been at several of them. And this is something the lodge really likes to get behind. I'm seeing folks here at the farmers market every week. And it's kind of fun to see somebody outside of lodge and just getting together and working on a project.
The biggest thing is it's handy. It is literally across the street. So we can store all of our stuff here and then just wheel it right across the street, crack open our booth, and we are good to go. So yeah, the guys like working together anyway. During normal lodge stuff, we're usually pretty good together. But when we start doing extracurriculars, something lights a fire under all of us, and we go at it. This one was planned to be a pretty hardcore activity, and yeah, it's gotten a lot of enthusiasm from us, which is great.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Masons and Cobia Lodge here in Council Bluffs. Your own personal affiliation with the Masons, how far back does it go?
Actually, I've been a Mason for almost 6 years. I got into it kind of on pure accident. My wife had a friend of hers who was in this group with the Shriners. Not a lot of people know the Shriners are actually an offshoot of the Masons. So in order for her to be a part of that group with her friend, I had to first be a Shriner, which meant I had to first be a Mason. I discovered there was a guy in my little part of town locally, and I asked him what it took. He put me up before the initiation board to fill out my application. They do background checks, make sure that you're squeaky clean, and so I got into being a Mason. And then after a few months of that, I got into being a Shriner. She joined her group, and she's kind of fallen off a bit since, but I ended up loving being a Mason. And so, so much that I'm actually master of the lodge this year. So yeah, I wouldn't have given it a second thought beyond reading the Dan Brown books and listening to the stories of the Knights Templar. And obviously the real world is nothing like it, but it's more than anything else, it's hanging out with a good bunch of guys. There's worse ways to spend a Tuesday night than talking morality and fundraising for community projects. Well, so here I am.
My first time over here, our good friend Pat Morgan invited me over, and that's when I first had a chance to meet Fred. And one of the first things that Fred said to me was, "Look, there's no buried treasure here." So,
we have.
It's such a strange thing that it's like something going viral before the internet.
Yeah, it's been tales of mystery and intrigue for hundreds of years. We have a little pamphlet that whenever we interview people to explain Masonry and to explain what it is, what it isn't, and one of the actual bullet points says, make sure they understand this is not a financial institution.
Right.
There's no treasure. No one's going to get super rich doing this. We actually go out raising money because most of us are dirt poor already. And so, yeah, it's just, like I say, hundreds of years of mystery and intrigue over something. It's not even that mysterious. Just, it's something everyone has their own idea about. And those who take the step to come on in, learn a few things. So
yeah, and there are a few things that are kept quiet, but not at all for the reasons that people think. I mean, there is no grand conspiracy, and there is no influencing governments and stuff like that. Just doesn't happen.
if there is, it's no part I'm aware of. They kept me out of that part. Someone told, when I first came in, someone described it to me as not a secret organization, but an organization with secrets. Like, okay, that makes sense. Every organization has some secrets they don't tell everybody. Mm-hmm. It's, their own intellectual property or whatever, and this was no different. And so part of me was like, oh, I kind of wish there was some more to it. But the stuff that I did learn has been amazing.
There was a story not that long ago, just a few months ago, that was on CBS This Morning, and they were talking with Masons somewhere in New England. I can't say specifically where, but I think it was in the Boston area. And they let cameras in. Cameras came into the lodge and talking with some of the different members. And then, they ushered them out and closed the door before they started the meeting. And that part was also included in the story, but that was just kind of like, yeah, all of this stuff, we do have secrets.
We're not hiding anything. No. You're welcome. There's a specific layout to every Masonic temple. And yeah, I mean, the stuff that they do is based on, internal ceremonial stuff that dates back, hundreds of years to, all the way back to England and Scotland. But yeah, it's just, and the other thing that you learn that you don't realize until you're actually more involved with it. Every little town you drive through in any city, in any state, anywhere, has a Masonic lodge. When you're not part of it, you don't give it a second thought. You just see it there. You see the Rotary Club square, compass, whatever, and you see a lodge. And when you're part of it, you're like, huh, I know there's a lodge here. And you look, every town's got one.
Yeah, there's. I think this is the last in Pottawatomie County in Council Bluffs. I think I'm not sure if there's any active lodges left in the county. Now we have some in adjacent counties, the Missouri Valley. Atlantic jumps to mind. Did I hear recently there's one in Griswold? I thought that
I think somebody was saying, yeah. So, I mean, the building itself has been a Masonic Lodge building long enough to where there are 3 different lodges for Bluff City and for outlying areas. And I think Missouri Valley guys come down as well as the Council Bluffs thing. So we all share the room, the temple part of itself on different nights. And so, but yeah, everywhere you go into Omaha across the river, several different ones. I mean, not just regular Masonic Blue Lodges, the Prince Albert Halls, the York Lodges, the Scottish Rite down on 20th there. You notice the Wells Fargo building, the bank building there, but you don't notice this amazing thing across the street, this big stained glass, super fancy, right. No public parking allowed in their nice little garage, area.
So as we are now moving forward, and you being Master of the Lodge this year, did you set any goals for yourself? Is it more just, hey, I want to keep the ball rolling? What approach did you take?
I wanted to do more to raise funds. It came up that we were in more dire need of fundraising than we realized. We're in a nice building here in an old area of downtown Council Bluffs, and the insurance for the building has gone up a lot. Everyone puts into the pot to do that, but just to keep the building itself required more fundraising.
Right.
We started working with the sheriff's office on there's a lifeguard.
Project Lifesaver.
Lifesaver, thank you.
Project Lifesaver.
Yeah, where they're one of the sheriffs there is in charge of it, and they basically have these bracelets that have trackers in them for super young kids and super old folks. In case they wander off, they can make them trackable. They were, a couple of our guys hang out with the fire departments and the sheriff's departments, having previous affiliation with them, and they needed funding, and the county itself is spread fairly thin. We were eager to want to lend our name to that as well as our checkbook, because it was a good cause, and they needed some kind of arm to get public awareness out there, which the sheriff's office didn't really have. Their job was to make it functional. So on top of that, we started giving them a voice in the community, and it steamrolled from there. We raised enough money to get them 10 or 15 of these bracelets. They're not super cheap.
No, they're not.
But they were, the word had gotten out so much that within a couple of days they were spoken for and they needed to get more. And so that was one that just happened to come by on my watch. We've been trying to do, our normal stuff. We have our hog roasts and, things like that with, raffles to try and raise money, that way. But this summer, everything came together with the ice cream stuff, the farmers market being close by, and having a guy on the inside. So we figured, why not take advantage? We're trying to expand that even further into maybe renting out the thing to other fundraising organizations to be able to, split the funds with that. I mean, summers aren't getting colder these days. Ice cream is definitely a hot item, so to speak.
Council Bluffs Today is brought to you by Keith Jones, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Council Bluffs. Learn how he can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com for more. Edward Jones, member SIPC. S&B Country Kennel is the top spot in Southwest Iowa when you need to know your dog will receive only the best. Boarding, daycare, grooming, self-washing, training, and even a membership available to a dog park over an acre in size. S&B Country Kennel also has rescue dogs, so check with them about adoption possibilities. sbcountrykennel.com, that's country spelled with a K, located just west of I-29 on Bungie Avenue, south of Council Bluffs.
Well, and it's proven to be popular at the farmers market. It's something that because a lot of families have their kids out there, and it's just kind of a quick treat that they can get that's not going to spoil their dinner.
Yeah, that we can turn a profit on $2 a pop is good enough, thanks to our guy on the inside. So it works out for everybody.
Well, that's true, and you bring up a really good point there. That this is a way that and. Dick has done such a wonderful job of putting all this together and organizing and making it all happen. But at the same time, that's kind of the theme that just runs through the lodge, and I think runs through Masonry as a whole, is that we're here to help each other, and we're here to support each other. And, one person had this idea, everybody else came together, okay, we're out there and we're going to...
We have our monthly meetings, and there's an opportunity at each one to spitball for anyone with an idea. He tossed that one out as a skeleton of a framework, and within half an hour, we had so much conversation about it that we had most of a plan ready to put in place. We needed to actually do some legwork, and so this one practically created itself. We just happened to have all the right guys in the right place at the same time.
Well, we've been also very fortunate in Cobia that we've seen some growth. We've seen some growth under your leadership, too. So that is a very positive thing. That I think that for a long time, everything was kind of moving the other direction. And because Masonry used to be like, it was the thing in any community, that the men wanted to be a part of it, and the women wanted to be a part of those organizations.
It was actually tricky to get into it.
Yeah, it wasn't all that easy back then.
Yeah, now you can just ask and apply. In the old days, they pretty much got to find you, and so. But I mean, it's an organization that's is worth spreading the word out about. So yeah, they've changed their ways to allow for more, and it's paying off for sure.
Do you have much of an opportunity now with your current position that you can talk to people about that, and you can say, hey, why don't you come by and let's talk to some people? Most
of the people I know already know that I do masonry stuff, and I put the offer out there. If you're interested, come by, have a conversation. Just information. So, a lot of people are busy, and it's tricky to, even finding one night a week can be, tough these days. But yeah, if it's not your cup of tea, no shame in that. But for those who want to be a part of it, it's worth it, to my mind.
Definitely. And, with everything that I've been through over the past month, and it proved to me why it was that I joined. And as it turned out, through some wonderful people out there, I didn't need the help that was being offered. But that doesn't take away from the offer itself. And when I came here a little over a year ago, and you were here, and there were many other members here, I could feel a theme just kind of running through everybody. There's a common thread.
The older guys like to tell tales of the old days when, I mean, and it's not just guys within your own lodge. I mean, Masons all around the country have this camaraderie, this brotherhood, you know. And now and again, you'll hear a tale of some guy rolling into town who just happens to also be a Mason, flat tire, broken engine, whatever, comes knocking on the door, said, "Hey, can you help me out for a bit?" And they're ready to help him out any way they can. It's really something.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a laid-back spot with great food and even better company, it's the Mile Away on Old Lincoln Highway north of Council Bluffs. This family-run bar and grill is your go-to for mouth-watering wings, unbeatable weekly specials, and a welcoming atmosphere that feels like home. So, if you're catching a game, enjoying one of those specials, or just unwinding after a long day, the Mile Away has you covered. Open every day, Tuesday through Sunday at 8 for breakfast, and don't forget them at lunch and dinner time as well. It's the Mile Away, Old Lincoln Highway, north of Council Bluffs. Service Master Restore by Schmader knows it can be hard to get things back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, or smoke. And that can oftentimes lead to mold, and you may be left with all sorts of questions about how to get your home or business back to normal. It's easy. You give Cindy Schmader a call with Service Master Restore by Schmader. Her phone number, 402-339-9911.
And it's something that I have not done yet is go and visit other lodges, and I want to get that done because, you know, it's going to be the same as anywhere. That it's going to be a little bit of a different feel. Regardless of where you go. And
You're going to find it's a lot more the same, though, than there is different.
Yeah. But that's also what I find to be very comforting, that even though there might be some differences, the core remains the same. The foundation remains the same. And that's what I personally find comforting and very satisfying. And it's why when things were going bad, this is where I wanted to come. This is where I needed to be around these guys, knowing that I got a whole room full of people that have my back. And I knew that before I ever walked through the door.
Well, you knew the idea of it.
Yeah.
But until something actually happens and everybody mobilizes, it doesn't really. And, you know, there's all kinds of lodges nearby. You go into one, and it will change your life when you get further realization of how big and yet how small the organization is as a whole.
Yeah, and it was a great decision. And one of the things that was brought up when I was applying and had put in my petition was, "Hey, you know, are you married?" And I said, "Well, not yet, but I'm going to be." And I said, "Is she on board with this?" And I said, "Yeah." We talked about it, and she said, "Yeah, she supports it." That's part of it because, you know, there is a commitment, but at the same time, that commitment goes the other direction.
It's more than you.
Yes.
On both sides.
Right. And we also, it's made very, very clear that you take care of your family first. You make sure that your job is taken care of first before this, not instead of, but just before. And that's something else that I find very comforting. Priorities are in the right place.
Yeah. I mean, it's laid out clearly that nothing we do can conflict with your existing obligations to yourself, your family, your neighbor, your country. None of those can conflict. And so, nobody has an excuse to say, well, to try and make this into something it's not.
Right. So, Farmers Market in Council Bluffs every Thursday, 4:30 to 7:30, I believe.
That is
correct. And you look for the big giant inflatable ice cream cone. We've got one of those
definitely
out there.
yes.
I think it's got a bunch of sand in the bottom or something.
No, we put water in it.
Is that what it's down there? Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of sloshes around a little bit, but you look for that. Look for the guys. A lot of guys in blue shirts out there.
Yeah, we've got the same slot. It's basically toward the southwest side there, a few from the end. But the big inflatable ice cream cone would tell you you've gotten where you're looking for.
Exactly. So Jim Provost, thank you so much.
My pleasure,
I
sir.
appreciate your leadership this year. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate that.
We're very thankful for to have you in the chair, and looking forward to a great rest of 2026. And we're also looking forward to the next show. Don't forget that we now have hometown sponsors, and one of those is Therapy Place. So get a hold of them and take a look at their website, and you'll learn a little bit more about who it is that they are. And if you see somebody from there, tell them thank you for supporting local media. My name is Todd Studer, and we'll see you next time.